Welcome, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. The Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is now in session. It's said that you didn't change the clock. 4:35. From there we go to. You're going to read.
You want to do roll call first?
You want to do roll call?
Okay. Roll
Jim?
call.
Okay, sorry. Chairman Long?
Here.
Vice Chairman Underhill?
Here.
Commissioner Burns is absent. Commissioner Bentley?
Present?
Commissioner Maderas?
Here.
Then we go to citizens input. We have anybody have?
Mr. Chairman, we just have to read that, I'm sorry.
Oh, you got to read the open meeting law.
law.
Yep.
So the language for the open meeting law is as follows. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible.
Citizen input. Anybody have anything they want to bring before the board? If not, we'll go to resident input.
Thank you, Steve. Just a quick note.
State your name, please, just make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ed Gagnon, Executive Director for our Joint Tenants Council. Just a quick note. Nice, Michael. Last week, we held our annual meeting. Kevin attended. He said a few nice words about everybody, everyone. We had our election of officers. We elected David Underhill as the chairman again, Bill Walker as vice chairman, Don Hamilton as vice chairman, and Bill Walker as secretary treasurer. We discussed the upcoming Mass Union Convention in Marlborough in May. Kevin was there. What we're doing is they're taking the residents to Marlborough for a quick meeting and then over to the State House for a lobby day to lobby all the representatives to get more money for public housing. We also held a couple of elections in our buildings. We have a new tenant association at Holmes and a new one at Doolin. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Anything else on resident input? Okay, we get the minutes of last month's meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the minutes of last month's meeting.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Bills and communications, vouchers. You report on that? Who reports on that?
I think the packet is there. People have had the opportunity to review it. If there's any questions. If not-
Anybody have any questions on the vouchers? Entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Anybody second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Management reports.
Same thing.
Same thing. Anybody have any questions with the management reports? I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the management reports.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Mr. Chair, we just want to, I think with the practice, we just read every one of them.
You want to read each one?
Yeah, just that way we have them as a
Okay.
bundle.
All right, under the management reports, the first one we'll take up is the applications. Is there any discussion on the applications?
I'm sorry.
No discussion.
I'm sorry, we just read them out, and then they'll collectively. just-
Collectively do the thing? Just read each one?
Yep.
Okay, under the management reports, we have the applications, occupancy reports, tenants' accounts receivable, work order report, monthly Section 8 voucher activity report, monthly personnel count and report, the Director of Modernization monthly report, bank investment and bond debt balance reports. That's the entire management reports for this month. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the management reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Financial reports for the period ending January 31st, 2024. Any discussion? Seeing none?
I'll make a
Entertain-
motion to approve the financial reports period ending January 31st, 2024.
Second, anyone?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, insurance policies for the period of April 1st, 2024 through 3/31/2025. I believe these are going to be the renewals, is that correct?
Yes.
We get the public officials insurance, that's held by Hub International, I would take it.
Yes.
We got the commercial property insurance, what is the HIA group, what's that stand for? Housing Authority Insurance?
Housing Authority Insurance Group.
What's HIA, what's that, is that a HUD funded, is that HUD?
It's, they're self-insured, federalized self-insured.
Okay. That's through the HUD Self-Insurance Group. It's commercial property insurance, commercial liability insurance, the automobile insurance, the excess automobile insurance, and we have a Travelers Casualty and Surety Company. Any discussions?
If I may add, Chairman, we're waiting on the actual premium for the public officials. We anticipate it based on previous history of about a $5,000 increase. The total premiums for all policies, we anticipate roughly an 8% increase, which has been the trend across the industry, so.
And when we look at that, that's a pretty hefty number.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we have quite the portfolio.
Pretty close to $1 million, right?
Yeah, 7 something. Yeah.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept insurance policies.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. We got an update from the Executive Director, Mr. Spadella.
Thank you, Chairman. A few things for this month. Human Resources, we hired 1 carpenter, 1 maintenance mechanic, and 3 maintenance custodians to bolster our staff. We had a couple of retirements due to disability and 1 that resigned, so just trying to maintain the workflow. Training, we actually had a couple of trainings for staff members, for managers, maintenance leaders, some department heads. The end of February, we did a reasonable accommodation and touched on VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act training. And then in early March, with Attorney Jeff Driscoll, we conducted a roles and responsibilities for some department heads, maintenance leaders, and managers, property managers, just to go over what's expected, what's the roles and responsibilities, and duty of care and duty of loyalty to the Fall River Housing Authority. So that went very well. Financial, we will be seeking bids for fee accountants. The firm or person that we currently have is semi-retired, and we're going to be going out again for more bids. We checked with the Ethics Commission. We're going to be sending a disclosure, a conflict of interest statement to Mary Sahadi, former chairwoman, so that if she's interested, her accounting firm can put in a bid for it. So once we get that back, we'll also copy the city clerk's office. In my discussions with the Ethics Commission, a vote is not required, only to inform the board. So, and lastly, it's with an extremely heavy heart that I inform everyone that we lost a dear friend and Fall River Housing Authority family member this past weekend. Joe Pimentel, one of our directors of maintenance, passed unexpectedly. Joe was an exemplary employee, friend, and man to all, and he's going to be deeply missed. And I would ask if we could take a few seconds and just pause in silence in memory of Joe.
Take a moment of silence in memory of Joe Pimentel.
Thank you. That's all I have for this month.
Just as an aside from, it's my understanding under the VOW, which is the Violence Against Women Act, that is somewhat of a misnomer. That is available to anyone, male, female, however you want to be identified. That act is out there for all. Am I correct with that?
You are correct, yes.
And then on the accounting, that is a very specialized field, and trying to get a bid on that type of can be somewhat difficult, so I can understand why you would put in for the ethics for Hagan Sahadi. They're very qualified, very good people. And again, on behalf of the whole board, we send our condolences and prayers to the Pimentel family. Next, where are we at?
Thank you, guys.
Modernization, we're talking about change orders. Trim and ADA improvements at the Elmer Corbett Street project. You want to do these all in one shot? You want to talk about them? What do you want to do?
You, I believe you mention it, make a motion on it, and then discussion, and then a vote to approve
All
it.
right, so the,
But these would be separate. Yeah, not
okay, all right. So the motion would be to approve contingent upon the approval of EOHLC, which is
Executive Office of Housing and Livable
No,
Communities,
HUD, you just.
formerly DHCD.
formally DHC.
DHCD, yeah. So I will entertain a motion to approve contingent upon the approval of EOHLC. That's going to take a while to get used to that. So do I have a motion?
So this is, I'll make a motion, this is to accept change order number 2 for interior flooring trim ADA improvements at Elmer Corbett Street. And it's a credit change order in the amount of $300 for the deletion of shower rods, curtains in 2 bathrooms. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Approved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is unanimous. Now we get the certificate of substantial completion for the reconstruction of fire damaged apartments at the Benny Costa Plaza, apartment number 301. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? What was the extent of the fire damage, you know? What was it?
A phone charger.
Oh, jeez.
It was $150,000.
Wow. All right, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Change order number 1 for the reconstruction of, oh, that's the one we just did, right?
No, it's the same
Same thing?
project.
Okay,
The
sorry.
results.
Change order number 1 for the reconstruction of fire damaged apartment at Benny Costa Plaza, apartment 301. Change order is an increase in the amount of $3,582.71 and an additional 35 days of contract time. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1, which is an increase of $3,582.71 plus 35 additional days for apartment 301 at Benny Costa Plaza.
Second. Did I second?
You put the motion out, right?
She made a motion.
I made the motion.
Is there a second?
Yep. Commissioner Maderas.
Okay. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We get the certificate of completion consolidated for the reconstruction of fire damage apartment at Bennett Costa Plaza, apartment 301. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Approved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this is a contract award for the boiler and domestic hot water heater replacement at the George H. Cartel Heights, Mass. 610.
Commissioner Long, if I can intervene, we're going to remove that from the agenda. The designer needs more time to review those bids. They came in late Thursday afternoon, tied up on Friday. We were tied up here. They need additional time to review. So we will put that as a new item back on in next month's agenda after we've had.
Do you need any action from the board to do that, or just?
Can I
Do you need to table it, or?
make a motion to table it?
Motion to withdraw it. Yeah, we're not going to table it.
You withdraw it.
Entertain a motion to withdraw?
Motion to withdraw. There's a need from us.
Second.
In discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any other miscellaneous? Talking about AT&T, the rooftop antenna. Permission to advertise for 5-year lease for the cell tower rooftop space at the James O'Brien Apartments on Whipple Street. This was approved on the February 24th board meeting, second is authorize of the AT&T rooftop leaf extension, same location for a period of 5 years.
So what happened, Chairman Long, is we asked permission at February's board meeting to go out to bid for a new 5-year contract. After the meeting, Attorney Souza received interest from AT&T to exercise one of their 5-year options. So now we're bringing it back before you to let you know that we still have the option to go out to bid or to renew. Reviewing it quickly, Attorney Souza and I felt it would be more advantageous just to extend, do a 5-year option to extend, because we know what the rent, lease amount will be, whereas if we go out to bid, we don't know. Is that fair?
Yeah, it could be reduced significantly, more than likely. And
But
it's-
Attorney Souza and I will do a little more due diligence in reviewing the numbers, but based on your vote, we can do either or. And
So in your discussion, what you're saying is you want to renew the contract as is for the same prices, because there's the reality that that contract would be reduced.
could be
The monthly
reduced if
use
we
of
go out to
occupancy.
bid.
Have we had anybody asking to say, hey, I'd like to get that bid?
As of right now, no.
And over the last 5 years, nobody said what's going on, that type of stuff, so there's really been no interest whatsoever?
Yeah, no, we have a total of four cell towers. AT&T covers 2 of them. They were interested in renegotiating this lease. Not renegotiating, they were going out to because it's a significant amount of money, $4,000. It's increased annually by the Wall Street Journal's Consumer Price Index.
Yeah.
So this is basically just an estimate. So I've estimated for what the contract cost would be for the 10-year contract. We don't enter any more 10-year contracts. HUD wants to limit it to 5. However, this has a 5-year option to renew that they signed 10 years ago. So the estimate for just an extension for 5 years would be $269. That's just an estimate. I didn't calculate the Consumer Price Index because I don't know what that would be on it. So that's why we would recommend that we
You
extend
can
it.
see the trend, it does increase based on the Wall Street Journal, it goes up.
And that's these numbers at the bottom of the
Correct.
grid.
Correct. So I gave you the annual income would be the bottom for 24, 25, 26 through May of 2029. That's what the actual letter states that they want to sign. So I would have to have Commissioner Long sign that extension if the board entertains the fact that they want to extend by a 5 year, the option to renew for 5 years.
And what you have here is you've got the 5-year extension without the consumer price index.
Correct.
And that's 53,822.76.
That's correct, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
In 24, is the minimum revenue staying the same?
The minimum revenue would be $269,086.80. That would be the minimum revenue for the 5-year extension.
So these numbers on this sheet are minimum revenues.
Correct. The ones on the top, just for clarification, these are the actual revenues right through. And I didn't put, obviously, we're not in April yet. We haven't received April's price, but the current revenue for that is $4,485.23 monthly that we get for O'Brien Apartments, which is here.
And that's one of 4
That's
locations.
one of 4, correct.
And the annual income generated from that, is that last year?
Last year's, for 2023, well, the contract technically expires in April, but if there's a 2-year, there's 2 5-year options to renew. They didn't elect to renew it until we went before the board to put it out to bid, because we need time to put it out to bid. When we came back, like probably a week later, I received a request for an extension for the 5-year. So I don't know if there was, I don't know what facts were out there that they wanted to extend it. That was the letter.
And this is for one 5-year extension.
Correct. This is for the first of
It's the
2.
first of the 2.
So when I'm looking at this, okay, and you look at the total annual minimum revenue for, at 2014 was only 31,369.61.
Yeah, that was because they started in June, and that was at $3,500 a month. That's correct. And then it increased. Well, it didn't increase
Under the
until the
CPI?
following. Yeah,
And now it's at the minimum revenue is 53,822.76.
correct. So yes,
So when we're looking at the minimum revenue at the 269,086.80, that is definitely a minimal number, but if you look at the numbers from previous, this was an annual total at 455?
we didn't have, just so that you know, we didn't have the figures that they went back that far. So they were giving us lump sum payments. So what I did is I took the lump sum payments because I couldn't figure out to go back to the Wall Street Journal's Consumer Price Index. I just, gave you an actual of what we were paid out. So
So the actual was 445,972.63?
correct.
And our
Over the
minimum-
10-year period.
Over the 10-year period,
Oh,
yeah.
so
So for
we
those
got-
first, we didn't keep a lot of,
get it.
we just got lump sum payments for those, so that's why I didn't know the actual monthly amounts. So it is in the contract that it does get increased annually by the Wall Street Journal's Consumer Price Index of a certain, whatever percentage they publish for that year. But these are actual figures.
But we're looking at a considerable increase in revenue from this.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
It's
Usually
kind of,
they-
you know what you have versus what you might not know.
And you would exceed any previous 5-year payout.
Correct. So that's the way I read it.
Wait.
Can I get a motion to, how do you want to put this as a, you want
So
to
it's up-
approve the 5-year extension?
It's up to
I
for
would
the
make a
board.
motion to go with option 2, which is authorizing
The 5-year option.
the
Approval of the
extension,
option.
the one 5-year extension.
So to authorize the AT&T rooftop leaf extension at the same location for a period of 5 years?
Yes.
Motion made, is there a second? You second? Motion made and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed?
And Commissioner Long, I'll have the contract documents signed, not signed, but I will have them prepared for you to sign.
Execute. And we have the on-call trade services contract for carpentry and plumbing. The recommended action is award a one-year contract to each of the various contracts in an amount not to exceed $60,000.
And I will read you the 5 contractors, so you know. So similar to our previous on-calls, we've added an additional 5 more, 2 in carpentry, Shavs Construction, that's $100 per hour. Collins Contracting is $133 per hour. Then we have 3 heating contracts. Miguel Heating and Plumbing, $145 per hour. Distinctive Plumbing, $125 per hour. And Labonte Plumbing, $125 per hour. And these 5 contracts are not to exceed $60,000.
Have all these contractors been vetted and are able to do the work that might possibly come before them?
Yes, they have had previous on-call contracts. Naturally, once you vote, then our procurement officer, Tim McCoy, will follow up on what's required, bonding and insurances, things like that.
But again, just to reiterate, they've all had on-call contract agreements with us in the past, each of those
Okay.
companies. They've all done work on our properties.
I thought we said we were adding 5, but these are the same 5 that...
Five
Yeah,
from
it's a new-
last month.
It's a
Five
new,
from last
fi- yeah.
Okay. Entertain a motion?
I just have one question.
Yep.
This is during regular business hours, or this is like emergency? Or it could be, like plumbing could be an emergency, but carpentry might not be?
Clearly, typically, these rates are all business hours. I mean, most
Not
emergencies,
after hours?
we handle and we stem on our own. We typically don't have anything related to carpentry, but these are, these are typically regular business hours,
Okay.
on-call work.
Thank you.
Because as you know, we're short internal plumbers
I
right
was just
now.
gonna ask
So,
that.
so we've had these on-calls working for us, let's say, the past several months. And it's just to ensure that we did the large majority of those last month, as you recall. But we thought it would be prudent to instill a few more this particular month that would start and coincide with April 1, our new fiscal year.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So a motion to approve one-year contracts to each of the various contractors in an amount not to exceed $60,000.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. So 3 is the pre-react uniform physical condition inspection services. And this is a recommended action would be to award a one-year contract to the U.S. Inspection Group, USIG, in the amount not to exceed $22,158.70. And just to give us a brief, what is it that these people do?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
You want to go, Tim?
I'll just, briefly, this is typically done each year. It's prompted by our folks at Property Management, but in conjunction with our folks in Maintenance and Facilities, preparing for REAC inspections, which are typically, they're technically federal audits, but they're more of an assessment of our physical sites as opposed to the physical condition of our sites as opposed to a financial audit.
What's the REAC stand for?
Real Estate Assessment Center.
And just to remind everybody and our new chairman, in the past, I believe the acronym was considered a uniform physical site conditions of it, and that is changing to a new inspection criteria. The acronyms are funny and they change consistently, but that's changing to something called INSPIRE. So health and safety will pretty much be the nerve center of these particular physical site inspections, but Again, there are access to units, typically depending on a percentage of the size. For example, Sunset Hill is ongoing now, and I think there is a random selection of 30 units for inspection. These folks will come in ahead of time. We did our own pre-REAC inspections for Sunset Hill. This company was solicited with 2 others, and they were the responding low. They've actually had one in the past. But they will, properties like this and other family developments, they'll go in ahead of time and basically look at what they think would be point deduction violations and whatnot for us to attack and improve before the actual federally sponsored site audit.
Do they check all the units, or do they randomly select units as well?
Well, like I said, so what do we have, 350 at Sunset Hill?
So this inspection group does every unit
That's-
because this
that's what I
serves
want
2
to know. This-
purposes.
Yes.
It serves where we, according to the HUD regulations, we have to inspect our units
Yearly.
annually, once
So
per
But the
year.
This group will inspect every unit?
Correct.
Every unit,
Okay.
and then produce a report, and then that report is given to our maintenance side, and they use that to prepare for any violations in preparation for our REAC inspection.
Okay, Thank you.
And the actual assessment, though, would take a percentage.
Right, but I just
Sorry about that. I
specifically,
didn't-
yeah, no, I want.
I
meant
missed
this-
the point of your
this-
question.
Yeah, it was that this group checks every unit.
Yes, yes. And it also meets, again, the requirements that Kevin alluded to for yearly inspections.
So this is annual.
Yes.
Yeah, we typically solicit annually. I wait for the nod from the property management folks to put it out there for 2 weeks.
Is this all the sites?
Yes.
Are there any outstanding conditions from last year? Outstanding conditions?
I don't think there's anything, I mean, they would give recommendations, we go in. I believe, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think COVID also had a bit of an abeyance on some of these visits. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that was a few years back, but so,
We had several through 18, 19, 20, I think even into 21, but it seems like last year, I don't recall us having we do it internally, but again, where HUD is doing the formal site audits. Eddie, I don't know if you want to elaborate. I can remember Father DeFario, I think, last year, but
We've done them all, but just to let you know, and this comes through as an inspection work order, and we have none outstanding as of 1/1 of this year. So when we get them done, sometimes it takes up a lot of time.
No, I
Say Sunset Hill, we could end up with 300 or 400 work orders out of this inspection, but things to repair. But we try to get them done as quickly as possible. The emergencies get done right away, but the inspection work orders can linger a bit, but we do take care of them within the calendar year.
Good information. Thank you. Motion to approve?
I make a motion to award a one-year contract to U.S. Inspection Group in an amount not to exceed $22,158.70.
Second.
Any further discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
so now you want to make a motion that after we come out of executive session, we'll end the meeting.
We're going to be going into executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn from the executive session when it's completed.
I'll make a motion to adjourn from regular session
In executive session.
In executive.
in executive session.
We would need a roll call vote to go into executive session at this point.
Can we take that motion first?
Yes.
Second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Need a second?
second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
You need to.
Take a roll
Okay,
call.
this will be a roll call vote. Roll call?
So I want to do the one to go into executive session first. Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Maderas,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley.
Yes.
Chairman Long,
Yes?
and the one to not go back into open session and to adjourn. Commissioner Bentley,
Yes. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, what's the question?
To adjourn from executive session.
Right.
We're going to adjourn from executive.
Executive,
Yes,
yes.
make a motion to adjourn
Yep.
from executive session, yes.
Commissioner Bentley?
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill?
Yes.
Commissioner Maderos?
Yes.
Chairman Long?
Yes.
The reason is executive.
The motion was made and seconded to go into executive session, anticipated executive session pursuant to MGL Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct a strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or a collective bargaining session or contract negotiating with non-union personnel. That's the reason for our executive session.
And the item would be executive director contract negotiations.
And executive director contract negotiations.
Thank you.
Thank you.